All right, here we go. You see the countdown and you see the lovely couple over my shoulder. Let me get the right hand. There we go. The lovely couple hanging out with me tonight. I am so happy to be able to have them here, and I'm really happy to have you here with me as well. So thank you for coming on. You see the countdown going, but while we're on the countdown, you guys come on in and let me know where you are from so we can all be here together. All right, can we do it? So, Ana and Fuljens, thank you for hanging out with me. We decided before the show started that we'll just keep them on the television back there because we thought it looked cool. But how are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Thank you so
It looks
very much
great.
for keeping up with the color scheme for the stream show as well. The
You know,
blue
we
Right?
and
try.
Exactly.
orange.
We try.
We
We
got the
try.
stream show colors going on.
Yeah.
I
And
think
on a
that is.
Sunday, nonetheless. On a Sunday,
Right.
What you guys normally doing on a Sunday?
we are relaxing on a Sunday. We
Yeah.
actually like low key on a Sunday.
Yeah. A little bit of
I get you.
relaxing, a little bit of preparing for ENN, make sure everything is good
Mhm.
to go the next day. But in the evening, just watching some TV,
Mhm.
right?
Eating popcorn.
Eating popcorn, relaxing.
Mhm.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we do have some people hanging out with us tonight. BU with Crystal. Thank you so very much for coming through and hanging out with us tonight and making a comment. I would love to know where everybody is from. If you're watching tonight, we got a great conversation with a great couple. So I still got my countdown going. So let me say this. I didn't talk about it before we started, but it was, well, we talked about it a little bit. 2021, January 2021, I had Ana on the show, and Brandon and I, for the stream show, was talking. So I have done radio in the past, right? You have the main voice, you have, it's like someone does the news, and female voice. And you have a comedian. So these are all of the voices you can have. Brent and I was there. I was thinking, man, we really need a female voice on the show. So we've talked about, just bringing some people in, and we brought Ana on to kind of hang out with us to see what it was like. And you completely knocked it out of the park. Completely knocked it out of the park. I was
Well,
just
thank you.
so excited about the energy that you brought, and there you go, saying hello to everybody. And then big shouts out to Erica from Talk Virtual hanging out with us tonight too. So hello to you. And then maybe a week or two later, it really
Yeah.
wasn't that long,
Mhm.
Fuljens came onto the show and he showed us his amazing setup. And it was just a real good opportunity for the stream show to introduce. I don't know if you guys had been on any other show before then inside of Ecamm. Had you, by any chance?
You had.
On
I
some
mean, on like.
on other streams, but in terms of an official Ecamm show, that was my first.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
just
don't
trying to
even
take
remember.
credit for it, guys. That's all. I'm just
Take
trying
it,
to take
Stream.
credit.
Take
I'm
it.
just trying
Take
to
it. Take it.
Take it. I'm sure there are other streams, but I'm like, you know what? That's my first show.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was a great time for all of the Ecamm family, the Let's Get Live crew. It was just a great opportunity for all of us to grow as we were learning together, and then to be able to see you guys morph into ENN. Building Blocks. These are just shows that I know of. I'm sure you're doing some other things, right? I know, Fulgens, you have another show that you're doing, right?
Yes, that's right. So I have, along with Johnny Elisent, we do Haitian Creators Live, and that's mainly on LinkedIn, where we highlight and celebrate Haitian business professionals doing amazing work in the Haitian community, both here and abroad. And we also educate the community on tech such as Ecamm and content creation tools that they be using for their day-to-day professions.
Well, I appreciate you. So how about you, Ana? Do you do other shows? Because I've seen Fulgens' show.
Yeah, so I have my show is called Officially Unofficial. It's all
That's
around
right.
mental health, right? That's the first time you saw me. It wasn't
That is
Officially
the first
Unofficial.
time I saw you. That
Yeah.
is so true. That is so
Yeah.
true. I had to catch up on one of those shows. I hadn't seen it in a while. Here we go. Lights, camera,
action, join the stream team and be a part of the streaming network. Our goal is to help you succeed.
All right, guys, we are back. As you can tell, now they're on screen with me for real. Sometimes I tell people all the time, if you want to be successful, you have to be fearless enough to fail.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Agreed.
you have to be
Agreed.
fearless
Yeah.
enough to fail. So what do you mean by that? So our intro today, we decided that we'll just do the picture behind me. Like that could work or not work.
Yeah.
But not doing it is probably worse than not doing it is worse than doing it and failing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Absolutely.
never give
Yeah.
yourself an opportunity to try. Because you can
Yeah.
say, hey, I like it, but I think I would tweak it this way, or I
Mm-hmm.
would put it another. When you give yourself some opportunity, and if you don't like push the button, if you're not creative and you don't try things and you fail, you never grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And you
right.
don't give
100%.
yourself an opportunity to fail, you never grow. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why, as a creator, I really like pushing the envelope on things and just doing some things different just to do it differently, because you never know what will hit. And
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
right.
could definitely say what is a hit is these two right here, Ana and
Hey,
Fuljens. Like,
what
you
a
guys are
lead.
a real hit.
What
Thank
a
you.
lead. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. I love it.
I really appreciate you guys, your willingness with all of the shows you have going on and all the things that you're doing to hang out with me on a Sunday night. Listen, I am a Sunday afternoon napper, so I understand how Sundays can be. There's a lot of downtime for people, so to come on and do a show with all the creative stuff you have going on is a big deal for me. So thank you so very much.
You're so
That's an
welcome.
honor.
Our pleasure. Yeah, our
Yeah. Because
pleasure.
any exception on the Sunday, it's you straight.
Yeah,
I
and
appreciate that.
and you also made me cook early. I had to cook way
That's
early
true.
to have food ready
That's
before
true.
this. So
Okay,
That's true.
Fuljens. Is she a good cook, Fuljens? Does she know how to
Absolutely.
do it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That's what's
he's not
up.
just saying
Hey,
that.
right answer. Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Right answer. So I always tell my wife how good her cooking is, and our youngest son, who's here with us, he always he has some other critiques for it. I was like, okay, it's great for me. I don't know about him, but
Right.
it's great for me. I love it. So
That's
that's
it.
good. Hey, Gretchen is hanging out with us today.
Hello,
Hey,
Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Yes, we do have a great panel today, and today's message is to help all of you. So if you're a content creator, you're a streamer, if you're doing anything in the space of creating with video, we want to help you out in managing your content creation process and all the things that it takes for you to be successful in the year 2023. That being said, there's a lot to do, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there
There's
is.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot to do. And
Especially if you wanna try all the new things that are out there, right? So there's so much in 2023.
that being said, what are some of the new applications that you guys are using to help you create?
Yeah, so I recently found Craft. It's a note-taking app that has just helped me so much in organizing my content. Because I used to organize it before on paper, and I still do, but it just has allowed me to think differently and organize my thoughts differently. So that is one app that I am so thankful I found.
I
So
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Craft. I took the note. It's a note taking thing,
Yeah,
but I
it's
took
a
the
no-
note.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of notes, I'm old school. I use Apple Notes on my
I do
phone,
too. I do too.
right? And also on my Mac. However, Anna's always showing me new tricks on how to improve the app and create checklists and whatnot. Where I was just like, I'll just type it up, but she shows me how to organize it much better on Notes. But Notes for me all the way.
Yeah,
I
and
like
that's
that.
because Notes is pretty good, just like Fulgen said. That's what I used to use before. But now with this new note-taking app, you can just organize it under. And I try Notion. I know, if you are into the note-taking and
hmm
apps, you know that there's Notion out there. There's Evernote. There are other ones, but when I tried them, they didn't work for me. The one that really resonated with me, and it was so easy. It was almost like when I first opened up Ecamm, right? It was like, it was
Gotcha.
as
Gotcha.
It is pretty good.
intuitive as that. So I was like, yo, this is my thing. And then I
So
showed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you use it on your phone?
Yeah. I used it on my
So
phone
it's just an app.
and
Okay.
on the laptop. Yes. So
Yes.
it on my laptop, my desktop, it syncs with all of my devices.
That's
It's
awesome.
great. It's
So,
great.
so
It's
just a couple of weeks ago, I had a guy by the name of Matt on, and he's with Project.co. Project.co is all right. We should be back now. Sorry, guys. When you're going live, sometimes that just happens, and internet blinked here for a second, and it looks like it may still be going in and out. So just give me a second. I'll have Ana and Fuljens back up. We'll be right back shortly is what they actually put up online, and they will. Hey, guys, this is a part of the live streaming platform. So I have learned, because I've been doing this for a while, that sometimes that happens. You just got to keep going. So with Ecamm, which makes the difference, like when you go out and your stream stops, you're able to get right back into the stream that you left. Okay, so that's how I'm able to just come right back to where we are inside of YouTube. And it's kind of like there was some buffering, and boom, we're back. But on my side, I am hustling, trying to get back online, and it looks like everything is going, and the gang should be back in just 1 second, because we're talking about how to manage the content creation process today. So we want to help you, but we might as well help you also with figuring out, okay, when you're live, what do you do when things don't go the right way? You got to just keep going. Why not just keep going? I have you on with me, guys, in the back, of course. So let me bring up the screen here where we're together. There we are.
We're back.
Listen,
Live happens.
it does happen.
Hey.
It does happen. I have the mug and the T-shirt, right?
I just moving string.
I have it. So I didn't say in the beginning, I should have, because I've been running so fast, how well you guys look. Not only do you just look good as a couple, but the video quality and everything. Tell me what camera you're using and the setup you got going on right now.
Yes, so we have a Nikon D750.
That's what's up.
And
Rocking the
yes,
Nikon.
I love my Nikons. And the lens is a 2470 2.8.
That's
Okay, so we
awesome.
have
That's awesome. So,
Mhm.
of course, I know you're a photographer, and Fulgence has been doing this for a while too. But you guys have just blended the light so well. The color is good. Color is great, and you just look great on screen. So I just had to stop and say that, because in our world, all of that is important. All
Oh,
of
yeah.
that
Thank
is
you.
important. So I'm
Absolutely.
like, I'm gonna have to figure out how I tweak some stuff on this end.
I know, and then I had
Listen, let me get this sharper. I might have to throw my glasses on to get it sharper. I think that's it. I
Oh,
think
No,
that's
man.
speaking
it.
of glasses, I upgraded my frames, my eyeglasses, but then I have my lights all set up for the glare not to be not to show
Right.
my glasses, and now I'm still tweaking it and trying to find it, like the position where the glare is not gonna hit. So it's like either I stay right here and don't move, which is super hard for me, or
Gotcha.
I'll have to try and figure it out. So as soon as I go over there and move, it shows. So I'm still working on that. But yeah,
So
thank you, Strick.
no problem. Let me give you a trick for that. So if you're ever like in the Ana and Fuljens situation, of course they don't mind being close to each other. Just Velcro
Right.
your arms.
That's
Just
it.
Velcro your
That's
arms
it.
where you
That's
can't
it.
move. Everybody moves together.
All right. That's it.
That's funny. So I want to thank everybody for coming back to watch this. I almost got everybody back. So hopefully they'll come back to the show, as we're talking about something. To me, as a content creator, I was actually writing a list, guys, of all the things that I had to do to be able to do this show once a week. So you would think that, okay, we have one show that is what we call long form content. This is around 45, 60-minute show. But in
Mm-hmm.
order to do that, there are 9+ pieces of content that has to be created just to do this one show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing all that and you're not aware of, like I wasn't when we started, and you're not aware of all that it takes to build the content, you can't manage the process well.
Mm-hmm.
Because you say, okay, if we're doing a show, well, how do you advertise the show? Well, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I have to do is do the graphics. I got to do a thumbnail. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to do the description. Well, title first, and then a description for the show.
Mhm.
All right. So
Yeah.
now I'm at 3. So then I want to do some type of promo for the show. So I want to create a reel about the upcoming show. I will say this, reels are not designed to be promos for events.
Mm-hmm.
I use it that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that so people don't use what I'm doing and think, oh, I'm going to get a lot of people to watch it. It is not designed for that. I actually throw it inside of the Ecamm live community so community
Yeah.
members can see it there. But I am doing that being aware that it's not something that's going to go viral.
Right.
Okay, I
Mhm,
want you to know
mhm.
that. It's not something that's going to go viral, but it is there for people to see as another promotional tool for me.
Yes.
And I'm also linking the show in the comments of that reel. So if people see it, it makes, they'll know where the show is. And I also think you need to make a post with the thumbnail graphic and then the link. So I'm up to 5 now. Am I right?
Mhm.
Am I counting that right?
And
Yeah.
you mentioned 9 and then you continue and I'm just nodding because yes, that's what's up. That's
Yeah.
everything that has to be done. But may I say something about the reel?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how you said, the reel is not meant for advertising and things like that. I mean, is reels because it's such a short form content, right? It will reach more people and people will be more apt to discover your show because
Right.
it's so short. For example, the reel that you did about our show was great. It was great. It was
Thank you
short.
very
It had
much.
captions. Yeah, I had captions in it and I shared it and I saw, and then people are watching it very quickly. So even if it is 3 minutes, you said the stream show, Ana and Fuljens, and content creation, right? So
Right. It was
people, at
about
least
30
they know.
seconds.
Yeah, 30
Yeah.
seconds. So you said everything that you needed to say. So I will say that it can be used for promotional purposes, in
What?
my opinion.
Yes. I'm saying it because I'm saying that it wasn't automatically designed that way. I'm using it to promote a show because you're right. Whether it's Instagram or Facebook, they're going to give video, and especially short form video, an additional push. But it's not something I'm putting out there as part of my content that I'm expecting to go viral.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I see.
That
Okay,
it
but yeah.
just makes it. I'm making that as a difference so people that are content creators, would think, oh, it's not really designed for events or anything like that. I'm just trying to get eyes on it using the
Yeah.
platforms that we have, and you just never know because not
Right.
only is it for an event, it's for an event that's probably like a week away. So it's not evergreen content. I mean, once you see it, it's kind of gone. So if someone is
Right.
strolling through
Right.
through all of my reels, they're gonna see, content about microphones. Like I love the Shure mics and Loria. Loria,
Laura.
yes, thank you so very much. And but then you'll see a couple of advertising for shows. I'm just expecting people was going to scroll through some of those, but you would know this content creator has a show, is doing some stuff, and also has short form content built off of the show that he advertised.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Your strategy. That's your strategy, Stricken.
Yeah.
Is awesome. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the idea is to come back to this show, and as we are talking and you guys are talking about, I can use your example of craft, Anna, and say when you talk about craft and how you use that app, I can take that portion, and because you guys are, I can just slide and get you and expand it a little bit, so it's just like you talking about craft on the show, and I use that as a reel
Mm-hmm.
coming
Yes.
from the show.
Yeah.
And so I think that's 6. and then also, so 7 would be a audio podcast. So then take the audio from what you did,
Yes.
put it on a I use Anchor. So Anchor is putting it out to Apple, Spotify, and all the other kind of stuff, and Google Play and all that. And there's 2 more that I got to get. So then you can also do blogs out of that show. And one more thing, and I'm sure it's going to come to me. If you're watching this and you watch me count down 9 pieces of content, I am missing 1 piece. If you can figure it out, just put it in the comments and we'll make sure we shout you out. So
That should be a trivia trick. That's
know,
a
right?
trivia right there. Just
what's the 9th one? It is another one there. I just cannot remember it because I didn't write it all down. That is completely off of my memory because I just did. I listed all of this out and kind of made like a little web page of this is all that I do for the stream show.
Yeah.
Like just kind of I needed. This is a
Yeah.
tip for you. So everybody just watching this, you may want to write all the steps down and have even a checklist so you check them off because
yeah,
it's a lot to do.
yeah,
Take the long form content, market the long form content, do the long form content, and then push it out in short form content and a podcast.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but if that is the goal, right? If that is your goal to do all of these pieces, then that's it's just the organization is the great part for you. It's like, okay, these are all the steps that I have to do. This is my workflow because this is my end result. So if your end result is not, or right now you are not into repurposing for podcasting purposes, then that's one less step that you have to do. But if that's your goal, right, to do podcasting, then yes, that's what it is, and then you go for it on that side.
Mhm.
But
Would
it's
you guys
great to have
recommend
steps
that at all? Would you recommend someone that they have long form content to try to repurpose it that way?
for podcasting.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, we're not doing it yet, but that's something that we have on the works. We just have to figure it out how we're going
Understand,
to
like which
implement
show
it.
is going
Right,
to
exactly.
fit best in audio. So I
Yeah,
can tell
and-
you right
Yeah.
away, building blocks may not be it.
Right. Right. Building blocks.
I mean, it might not be it, right? Unless we're talking about workflow, because building blocks, we do a lot of graphics designs, but also we talk about workflows, run of show. So those can be a podcast, but
Mhm.
ENN will be more like
Yeah.
for podcasting. Some of
Gotcha.
it, but yeah.
Especially the interviews.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, right now, people have said this from the beginning when I started doing content. Content is king. All right. So you have content out there and you never know who would discover it on what platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just never know. So it may be hard for someone that may not be aware of Ecamm to go to Ecamm's YouTube. Like, how are they going to find Ecamm's YouTube channel on Sunday night to see us live? So taking short form content, whether it's a short on YouTube or whether it's, I really like Instagram, a reel on Instagram. So now the people that are attached to me, and what I've found with Instagram, I actually get more eyes that are not friends of mine seeing it that are.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that interesting?
When I get up into the hundreds, into the thousand, it is completely people that Instagram is recommending the video, and they're the ones that are seeing it and liking it more than my friends on Instagram. So
Your friends are like, yeah, we know him. It's all right.
Oh, there's strict talking again. What is he talking about? Oh, who is this guest? He's got another guest. Like, what are they talking about?
Here were there talking about content. I mean, like, what is that?
Right.
Yeah.
So that really, really does work. And I think, from a podcasting standpoint, just having it out there for discoverability is
Yes.
important. You know why? Because Ecamm makes it simple. They give
Yeah.
you a audio file. Just dump it over there. Now, it takes time. Let me say this. I don't want to go by and not be realistic with people. When we're talking about managing your content, if you don't schedule it out, you could
Mhm.
miss something because it takes a lot of time. Am I right, guys? To be able to
Yes.
Yes, it does.
formulate all the shows, call the guest, and send the guest the links, and send them questions, and get pictures. And if you don't have this schedule, you really could be behind the gun or not be as efficient. And, you could really mess up a guest, mess up a show. How do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys manage that for you and the shows that you have? Because you're doing multiple shows here.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we start talking about it the night we're done, right? So as soon as we're done with one, we start talking about the next show, like all from that night. Sometimes Fulgen's just like, okay, can we not talk about it right now? But I'm like, we're gonna have this, let's do that, and then we're gonna add this, and this is the question. So I'm talking the entire week about it. But then I put it down on paper, and then I send it to him. He reviews it and things like that. So the interview questions, we usually have a guest every twice a month. So we get a guest already before the guest even knows that they're gonna come. We have questions down. We search them up. We do
Mhm.
everything, and then we send the invitation. They accept, and so the process is super easy because we already know about them. So we can
Mhm.
have a nice conversation about, hey, come to the show because your content is gonna be great, and this is why.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
we start doing that, and then that's
Right.
basically.
And then so while Anna's putting the run of show and the content on paper, now I'm applying that to Ecamm. So in Ecamm, I'm building out the scenes and the graphics to tell a story and make sure that what Anna's presenting on paper is flowing nicely in Ecamm. Kind of creating like a content management system directly in Ecamm. Whereas like, us, since we're team building blocks, we don't, we like to kind of push Ecamm to the limit in terms of what it can do with overlays and whatnot. So the design is usually built in there. And in addition to creating the content for the show and creating content for the guest and making sure, everything looks like a professional broadcast, we also have to work on, giveaways on ENN, for example. So we have to put together trivia. Almost every single week we have to put trivia together. So what we do is like we refer to a social media holiday calendar. So we could Google up different types of social media holidays. Like last week was National Trivia Day, ironically, right?
I
So,
didn't know that.
right, exactly, but, and it's if there's a holiday coming up, we'll create trivia around the holidays and things of that nature. And Anna, as she's is usually trying to like create new strategies around the trivia and how people will win and create type of like process of elimination and things of that nature. So, we try to keep it fun every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the content is continuously like where you read about it, you get inspiration for everywhere. So you just get, oh, would this be interesting? This will be interesting for the show, and then we save it. Oh, this will be interesting for the show, and then we save it, and then we go
Got it.
back to that content that container of all the information that you have gathered, and then from there you can choose. You can
Yeah,
pick and choose what you're
yeah.
going to do.
And then if we're let's say we're on Twitter or on LinkedIn or wherever, and we're coming across newsworthy storylines that are relevant to the community, like Anna said, we'll save that and then we'll add that as a news piece for Ecamm Network News.
Mhm.
I like that. So, how far out do you guys plan your content?
We plan it about a month
Yeah.
in advance. But now this year, I am just pushing for 2 months. I'm pushing for
That's
like
awesome.
having 2 months of, and because we already have a list of, we have 2 guests a month, and we have already 14 guests. So
Wow.
right online, and you're one of them. So we already
That's what's up.
we already have 14 guests. So we are pretty good. We're pretty good. That takes us almost to the summer.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's yeah.
awesome. So, I'm
Yeah.
just 30 days out and I want to be 60, but it takes a lot with getting I kind of like stack up my guests. So if I have 4 or
Mhm.
5 stacked, then I stop reaching out to guests and start working
Mhm.
on those shows and making sure that the guests that I do have on, that I'm aware of the shows, that got questions for them, that it's a fit,
Mhm.
and all the other pieces of content that I have to do is where I want to be. So,
Yeah.
but that's really good that if you guys get to 60 days, that'll kind of makes you comfortable Did it give
Mm-hmm.
you any, for me, it's not any anxiety around, okay, what I'm going to do if I don't get a guest? Like, of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you
Right.
get any guests, that I always tell people that you would get, what's that, 100% of what you don't ask for. So if you never ask for it, you're not going to get it, you know?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
just ask people, and it's a whole nother show talking about how to get guests.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
but it is important for you to figure out, just like you said, what guest is a great fit for your show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I go after people that are doing content creation and streaming and that are leaders in the community, because we all want to learn. Like, the idea of my show is to be able to help creators succeed. So that's all I
Mm-hmm.
want to do. And if someone's out there doing some things that other people need to know about and could benefit from, guess what? They're guests. They're a great fit.
Yeah.
Hey. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All
dun.
right. So I got another question for you guys. I want to be sure that as we talk about this, how you guys decide on the right content for your show, like not just the whether it's long form, short form. Like, how do you decide? Okay, now this show we need to do some shorter things inside of the show to kind of build it. How do you guys decide that?
Mm-hmm. So for ENN, we have it broken down into segments, and sometimes the segments will go longer than others, but we have a segment that is going to be for do you know? So do you know? And it's a well, it could be technical, or it could be we say, okay, we're gonna use this do you know for a reel, right? So
Gotcha.
then we plan it so that is going to be for a reel. So it will be easy for us. It will be like I'm usually in the back, like kind of talking and laughing. So I want to make sure that I'm quiet during specific moments because we're gonna use it for a reel. So we plan it that way ahead of time
Yeah.
for that part. And then for building blocks is if we're gonna be doing something shorter, as tutorials or thing, we is actually shorter than ENN.
Yeah, right. And also, too, the beauty of ENN is that we also can invite the community members and their content and bring them onto our show as well. So for if they're promoting let's for example, if they're promoting ENN coffee, right, and they'll create a reel on that. So that's something that we will now highlight on ENN
Mm-hmm.
itself, right? So
Okay.
the Ecamm Live community members are creating content, and sometimes it's short form,
Yeah.
right? And then we can promote that on our show, which is great,
Yeah.
and creates more engagement and give props to the members.
Yeah. So all of those are the decisions. Like this is how we decide. So if we say, okay, we're going to have this, we want to have a reel, or we want to have this for LinkedIn specific, because all platforms speak different languages. So
That's
if
right.
if we tailor it based on the platform that we want to host it in, we probably LinkedIn, we do about a minute if we want to have a video there.
Yeah.
For if it's Instagram, we're gonna get 30 seconds. If it's the community, we're probably gonna do 1 minute and 30 seconds. So it all depends on where we're going to
Right.
do it.
And then when we have specific guests on the show, then they will ask if they can take clips from the show that they were on and actually use that on their platform as well. So we'll see them posted on their LinkedIn or on their Instagram, and they'll tag us and it'll create more engagement that way as well.
Mhm.
So, and like we didn't have to even do anything; like they created for us.
Cannot beat that. So I
Right.
have like some of the reels that I'm creating from the show, which I would have from this show. And normally I don't ask, so I apologize, guys. So I'm gonna ask you guys live. Can I use some of this for short form content?
Yeah, like we have it live right now. Like oh no, we didn't agree. Oh yes, you did. I have it on video.
We gave a verbal consent, a video
Listen,
consent.
I never asked. I guess I need to start doing that. Like when people come in, is it okay that I share your content in short form? I have to figure that one out. You want to be. I'm from the South. We're always polite, but I guess I just never thought that I need to verbally ask. I have been asked from some of my guests that have seen their reels that I post for the reels. It's like, oh man, this is good. Can I get that? And I've shared it with them.
Yeah.
So the only thing I normally ask is that they still tag me to it. And that way,
Yeah.
both of us, it kind of works both ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. People don't know how, like, when you have a 45, 60-minute live show, you really have to be engaging. So today
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking and we kind of had to stop because of the internet here, and we're back. So I've been really engaged in the conversation, and not so much with the audience, but in what you do with building blocks and ENN. How do you guys make sure that your show is engaging and that it is something that the audience could get from, that is good and the audience is really engaged to it? How do you do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question, sir. That's a great question. So, is we know our audience, so we know what they like. We know how they will react to certain things because we already know them. We've been with them for almost 3 years now. So we get content that we know they're going to enjoy. Sometimes we get content that we are testing out, and we're going to see how they react to it,
Gotcha.
right? So we're like testing, just like kind of how you're testing your screen, right, to
Right.
see how it goes. And so we do that with content as well for that.
Yeah. And also we make our audience feel acknowledged because we talk to them on our
Mhm.
show too. Because like a lot of a great segment on ENN and on Building Blocks is where we get to engage with the audience directly. So if they're talking to us, we talk back to them. We make sure that we take the time to acknowledge their comments and have conversations with them. And they like that.
Yeah, they
We
love
like
it.
we
I mean,
like it too.
we like it too. Like
Yeah, we love
it's
that
like
engagement.
we know them. Like
Yeah.
it's really cool. And then also we do a lot of trivias. The trivias are
Yeah.
so much fun. They're fun to us and they're fun to them.
Right.
It's come to the point where as soon as we mention that we're gonna have a trivia, they start writing answers
Right.
in
And
the
then
comments,
That's
and they
hey,
start
that's
getting
me.
engaged.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Yes, you
And-
do.
and-
You do it.
and then
The question
and then
hasn't even been asked yet. I'm just throwing in random stuff.
Right.
It's fun.
And then and when we know we have a captive audience there, the numbers are not dropping or anything like that, but everybody's quiet. It's usually when we have some type of tutorial going on, or they're working along with us. So like
Yeah.
everybody's just quiet and just like
Yeah.
listening in.
But then
Yeah.
if we ask, "Hey, you guys working? Are you guys? What do you guys
They
do?" And
pop back in.
yeah, they
Yeah.
come back in and they start commenting, and it all stems from knowing your audience, knowing
Yes.
what they want, and those statistics are great to let you know when you go into those metrics, right? To find out where they're coming from, where they're tuning in from, their age, and things
Yes.
like that. So based on that, you can create content that is going to be strictly for them, right? So that's one of the keys
Yes.
I
for
like
keeping
that.
the
I
audience
like that
engaged.
you guys are doing that. Is there any way, or is there a feeling? I'll say it from me. I
Mhm.
know, like, when I have a show that's just like good. I know when I have a great show.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
not talking about mistakes. I'm talking about great guests, great interaction, and people are there commenting, they're liking. Like right now, I'm at 5 likes and I need more likes. But when I'm engaged, and some of it, to be honest with you, it rests on me as the host. I feel like it rests on my shoulders
Mhm.
to have a
Yeah.
great
Mhm.
show.
Yeah.
To
Yes.
be engaging, to be aware, to be able to do multiple things at one time, because you want to, number one, have great content.
Yes.
You want to engage the audience, and sometimes those two don't mix well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because some people are here and they want the content. Well, give me the details of how to manage my content. Like, what apps are we talked about? Crafts and some of the apps we were using, and some of the things that you could do. And then we have, some practical things. How far out should you be planning? Like, we do 30, the ideas to do 60, and this is all good content. But then if you go into the comments and you start talking to people, and sometimes it could be things that are on subject, and sometimes it could be things that are not on subject, and you just kind of, some of those people that want the information, they can kind of get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And it all depends on the type of content and the type of show you have.
Yes.
Because if it is an instructional, and for me, I love chatting with people. I absolutely love it. But when we are on building blocks, I have to and we are teaching, or Fuljens is teaching something, I try so hard not to engage with them or anything. so that the tutorial can just go straight and they can get the content because it's for them. And yeah, so it all depends on the type of show and the content that you're doing for. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then and that's why we love ENN so much, because we get the best of both worlds. We're updating people on trending topics, what's newsworthy, some things, resources that are beneficial to them, but most of all, we get to talk. We get to have a conversation with the community,
That's right.
uninterrupted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
Yes.
Mhm.
I know I had a show that we were doing some tutorial stuff. I mean, it's done really, really well viewership wise, but I felt like, okay, I may have engaged in the audience a little too much because what I wanted to do was show this particular process. So I have to find the balance between engagement and tutorials because it's a mix on this show. That being
Yeah.
said,
Yes.
Gretchen here said my
Awesome.
coffee is on the way. Can hardly wait. So, and then she's
Gretchen.
helping me out with the thumbs up. So 20 watching and we don't have like 8 likes. So let's match the numbers. So Gretchen is helping out today.
That's right.
And when you have community members that are willing to do things like that, that's the engagement that you have. I
Yeah.
do want to do this. NFT Art Talk says, hey, y'all working on anything like CapCut with audio captioning overlays. So this is not something that we're talking about tonight. So this is like a Ecamm question, but I want to be sure that when people come in, and sometimes we can have, like, if I can't answer the question, I'm always being thoughtful of, okay, now what's the use case for this? Right now, we're only going to YouTube, and I think there's a way for you to get captions, turn captions on YouTube so people can see the captions, but not design any kind of way. Am I right in saying that?
Right. However, when it comes to, I could answer the question for
Yeah.
NFT Art Talk. Like for me, CapCut is one of my to-dos apps that I want to work on this year, using that to create vertical videos. Was it last week or the week before?
2 weeks ago.
Tom Morris came on. Was in the audience.
Blocks.
Was in the audience for Building Blocks, and he suggested to challenge the viewers to use a video editing app that you never used before and create a reel about the Ecamm coffee, right? So create an Ecamm coffee reel using a video editing app you had never used before. So I accept the challenge. I want to use CapCut. You said you were going to use
InShot.
InShot.
Actually, I use InShot, so I have to use a different
have to use a
one. I have
different
to use a
video
different
editing
one.
app,
So
yeah.
maybe I will use, what's the one that he suggested?
Luma Fusion.
LumaFusion.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll try that one, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll try iMovie. I've tried iMovie. So
Yeah.
anything different. But to answer your question, NFT, Fuljens is gonna try it.
Yeah, I'm
maybe.
gonna work with CapCut because I when I'm scrolling on Instagram and I come across certain reels, I'm like, how did they do that? The transition is so amazing, and that's with CapCut. So CapCut caught my eye, so that's definitely on my to-do list.
InShot does
Yeah.
it too. So,
InShot does
yeah,
it too. Yeah,
does
yeah.
it too. It's pretty cool. Have you used this trick? Like either one of those?
So I'm a CapCut guy. So listen, I have my favorite creators, and Mary Lou Mandy is like one of my
Oh my
favorites.
gosh, yes.
And she was using CapCut and doing some amazing things with it. And so I started using CapCut, and they have, for me, at one point I liked some in-app things that TikTok was doing and Instagram, but the transitions that you could do inside of CapCut, and then when they started doing the captioning thing, and now, which is really, really big deal with CapCut, they have the desktop application.
Oh,
wow.
that's
It's over.
great. That is a big deal.
That is a big
So
deal.
big deal,
That
which
is
is
a big
free,
deal.
which is free.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can do now on the desktop. You can see it better. They have so many different options.
Oh wow.
I think the captions is not as good as in-app captions that you can do in Facebook and Instagram, but it's still there. There's still, things that you can play around with. I was gonna do it with the script, but the script just had one too many steps. And
Yeah.
CapCut still does look like a video editor, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
that's one of the things. So I've used it, and I've started doing some training for some editors using CapCut because they don't have to buy any software. Just download
Right.
it,
Yeah,
and
just
Yeah,
download.
that's
I'm
great.
downloaded and click all the buttons. Download and click all the buttons. What does this do? What
That's
does that
it.
do? Oh, you can do that. Oh, I love that.
Exactly,
Okay.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So
'Cause-
CapCut is one that we use. So NFT Art Talk did say pre-recorded material. So you will get am I right, with Ecamm now? They give you the file, the SRT file, right?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
they do.
Yeah,
Yes,
for the captions. Yeah,
yes.
So so
for
Ecamm
the
doesn't have
comments.
it inside of Ecamm, but there are other applications that you could use that will throw it on the screen. So you might have to be real thoughtful of that.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing that CapCut does do. So you see it on the screen, but it can come across like captions, or it can come across like really artsy. So
Right.
NFT art, that may be something that you want to look at for pre-recorded stuff. Ecamm doesn't do that part, but they will give you that file, which is a plus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just
Yes.
have to
Plus.
copy and paste it.
Yes. And
There
now
you
in
go.
the new the Ecamm beta, you have captions for LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn Live.
There you go. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I'm learning something today, guys. So
On
I'm
a
watching
Sunday.
E&M, but I guess I'm not watching studious enough. I'm not being studious enough during that time. I'm just coming in, joking, and having a good time because I love
That's
You're
good.
coming
watching
for
you
the
That's
guys.
trivia.
Coming for the
You're
trivia.
coming for the trivia.
Yes, come for the trivia, and then to be honest with you, my sense of humor is so, for me, I just like to have fun all the time. I like to have fun
Yeah.
all the time. So if I'm not doing the heavy lifting of hosting the show, I'm going to be playing.
Yeah.
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 That's
Of
right.
course.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. I'm not taking it serious at all. Not that I'm learning, but I want to be. I would say something funny. So that being said, Gretchen is hanging out with us today. This show is making me smile. So thank you. Wow, I rebuilt my Lightroom catalog, which is not making me smile. So thank you for having. There you go. So
That's
Aw.
it.
nothing like being a distraction.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
good luck, Gretchen.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not fun at all.
All right, and she's also giving us a tip. There is a editor called Easy ABC at 123 Editor. That's what she's asking the
Right? Can you
question.
imagine?
No,
That'd be
there is
awesome.
not an editor that's going to be easy. I will say, starting with, if you can do in-app editors, that's a good place to start.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, say this show. So I'm going to give people a tip on the show here. It should come through very well if you have I think any phone. I'm an Apple person, of course. So I can go into my Apple phone and just do screen record and get to
Yeah.
the segment I want to be, screen record. And then I go into, once I record the screen for the segment that I want, I can then go into the editor and turn it the right way. Okay, then you have to turn it the right way and then take out the beginning and the end, which
Yeah.
you have to edit
Yeah.
it. And then at that point, you